Good morning to all of you. So, we have started this chapter 5 heat, and in the previous two videos, we have covered these contents: heat as a form of energy, units of heat, temperature, the different scales which are used to measure the temperature, then what are the various effects of heat we have discussed, then thermal expansion, its type, thermal expansion in solids and its practical application, thermal expansion in liquids and its practical application. Then we have discussed little bit about transfer of heat and its three modes: conduction. Then we have finished with the conduction. So today we will discuss convection, convection currents in nature. Then what are the practical applications of convection currents? Radiation, absorption of radiant heat, practical applications of black and white surfaces. So let's start our discussion. Okay, so convection currents in nature. So due to the process of convection, there are two types of convection currents. First is formation of land breeze and second is sea breeze. So we will discuss one by one. First is land breeze. So land breeze blows during the night from land to the sea, and the land becomes cooler faster than the sea. Now what is the reason behind this is air above the sea becomes less dense, that is it contains less amount of water vapor and it is warmer, and hence it is warmer, so its weight, so it is lighter in weight, so it rises, and the cooler air from the land moves in to take its place. This is how land breeze is generated. So warmer air from the sea and the cooler air from the land, so this cooler air from the land takes the place of warmer air, and hence the cooling is caused. So this is how the land breeze is formed. And always remember, land breeze blows during the night from land to sea. Next is sea breeze. So as the name suggests, sea breeze blows during the day and the land heats up faster than the sea. Again, what is the reason? Air on the land, due to the daytime, its sun is there, so air on the land is warmer, that is it is less denser, and the air over the sea is cooler, that is it contains more amount of water vapor, so it is heavier than the air on the land. So the heavier air from the sea takes the place of the lighter air on the land, and the phenomena that takes place is known as the sea breeze. So here you can see in this diagram, the daytime is there. Due to this sunlight, the air at the land become warmer and air at the sea is cooler. So this cool air takes the place of warmer air. So land in the daytime remains cooler. So this is how sea breeze form, and this is how it causes the cooling effect. Next is few practical applications of convection current. So as we have discussed, convection is the heat transfer phenomena which takes place due to the difference of the density and due to the actual movement of the particles of the fluid. So you must have seen these chimneys. So what is done? The height of the chimney is much greater, and they are much above the ground. So why they are so? So that smoke and gases, they are hot and they are less dense, so they quickly rise and escape through the chimneys in the industrial furnaces. Since these hot airs, this smoke and gases are hot, so they are less dense, so they quickly rise and escape through these tall chimneys. Again, due to the density difference between the hot air here and the cold air on the atmosphere. Next is ventilators. So you must have seen the ventilators are provided near the ceiling. Here you can see this ventilator is provided near the ceiling. Now what is the reason? The air that we breathe out is warm and it rises out of the room through the ventilators. Since the air that we breathe out is warm, and we have discussed in the previous two applications that warm air is lighter air, so it quickly rises out and it out from the room through these ventilators, and cool and fresh air rushes into the room through the doors and the windows. Since cool air is denser and it is heavier than the warmer air, so it is quickly rushes into the room through these doors and the windows. So that is why ventilators are provided near the ceilings. Next is installation of air conditioner in a room. So whenever you have seen, you must have noticed conditioner is always installed at a certain height. That is, it is again near to the ceiling. Now what is the reason? When it is installed at a height, it cools the air that is closer to the ceiling first. As we know that hot air rises up because of lower density, the cool air comes down, making the room cooler. So the air around this ceiling has been cooled first. Now when the air is cooled, it becomes denser, so it comes down. Whereas the warmer air, which is having the lower density, it goes up, it rises up, and the cool air which is coming down, it makes the room cooler. So this is why air conditioner are installed at a height inside a room. Then opposite to the air conditioner, installation of the room heater. So air conditioner are installed at a height, whereas air conditioner has installed at a height, whereas the room heater are put on the floor. Now why? As you know, hot air rises up and cold air settles down. So room heater is placed near to the floor so that heat can move uniformly from down to up. So the air around this room heater getting warmer, and as it is getting warmer, it is rising up continuously, and as it is rising up, it is increasing the temperature around its periphery. So these heaters are placed at the bottom so that the heat can move uniformly from down to up. That is why room heaters are placed at the surface of the floor. Next is installation of a freezer in a refrigerator. So the freezing chest of a refrigerator is always fitted near the top in a refrigerator because it cools the remaining surface of the refrigerator by convection current. Again, the cold air will take the place of the hot air. So the air near the freezing chest cools and descends, while the warmer air at the bottom rises up. So that is why the freezer is always installed at the top, so that air near the top in contact with the freezer gets cooled, and due to its weight it's come down and it causes the cooling in the whole refrigerator uniformly. Next mode of heat transfer is radiation. So we have learned about conduction. It requires a medium and there is no actual transfer of the particles. We have seen the convection. It is due to the difference between the densities of the two substances, or you can say fluids, and again it requires a medium, that is fluids, either liquid or gas. Now there is one more mode of heat transfer that we called as radiation. This mode of transfer does not require any medium. So all the hot bodies emit heat by the process of radiation. The heat energy that is transferred by the process of radiation is called radiant heat or thermal radiation. Now since these thermal radiation does not require any medium, so they travel from the source in all direction in a straight line at a speed of light, that is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Okay, for example, few examples that we have noticed in our day-to-day life. When we sit before a room heater, we get warmth due to the radiation. So whenever you are sitting beside a room heater, you must be feeling the warmth that is due to the radiation. A hot utensil kept away from the flame cools down as it transfers heat to the surroundings by radiation. So whenever any hot utensil is kept away from the flame, you must have noticed that it is automatically cooled down. Now where that heat is going, that heat is going into the surroundings by the process of radiation. Then our body produces heat and receives heat from the surroundings by radiation. So our body is used to always radiate the heat, and we always used to receive the heat that is from the surroundings by the process of radiation. So let's see one by one. Suppose these woods have been burned, so you can feel this heat to your hand without actually touching it, that is by means of the thermal radiation. Also the thermal energy radiates to the sprays from the sun that we are feeling during the daytime. Then this hot utensil, see the type of phenomena. Simultaneously all the three phenomena are taking place. When it is heated, the area around this flame is hot. If you take your hand just in front of this flame, not touching the flame, you must be feeling some warmth, that is due to the radiation. Then due to the conduction, this water is getting heated. Now due to the convection, the heat is transferred to this fluid, and due to the conduction again, the heat is transferred to this handle. So we can say that all the three phenomena are taking place here. Now every object absorbs more or less heat from the atmosphere or from other heat producing sources. If we put anything near the source of heat, after some time it's get heated, that we already knew. So what is actually taking place? A part of radiant heat is absorbed and part of it is reflected back. Now the amount of heat to be absorbed by the body depends on its heat absorption capacity. The absorbing or reflecting power of any object depends on nature of its surface and color of the object. So we already knew that black color used to absorb more heat, and the shinier surface used to reflect more amount of heat. So these are the two factors which affect the absorbing or reflecting power of any object. For example, here you can see that the black lamp coated black block is kept and a mercury thermometer has been kept. So you can see when it is placed in the sunlight, the temperature is rising rapidly. So we can say that black, dull and rough surfaces are better absorbers, whereas one more block is there which is silver coated. So in this, although temperature is rising, but temperature is rising slowly. So we can say that white, shiny and smooth surfaces are better reflected. So whenever the light falls onto the surface of any surface, a part of it is always absorbed and a part of it is always reflected, and little bit of part of the light is transmitted. So all these phenomena depends upon the nature of the surface and the color of the object. Now few practical applications of black and white surfaces. So you must have seen the utensils are always painted black at the bottom from the outside, because black surfaces are good absorber of heat, and that is our requirement so that this vessel get heated up quickly. But to keep the contents warmer for a longer time, the inner surface is polished from the outsides. Since polished surfaces are poor emitters of light, so when it is heated up, this heat is going to be conserved inside this vessel due to the polished surface from the inside. So as they are the poor emitters of heat, so the food is going to be warmer for the longer period of time. Next is, whenever during the summer, what we are actually wearing, we are wearing white or light colored clothes. Why? Again, white or light colored clothes are very good reflector of heat, which keeps our body cool during the summer. Whereas during the winters, we prefer to wear dark colored clothes, because dark colored colors are good absorber of heat, which keeps our body warm. So here you can see this. Room heater has a polished reflector. So you must have seen the room heater. The reflector of room heater is polished. Why? So that whatever heat is generated here due to these coils, it should be reflected entirely into the room, so that heat that is generated is reflect this this polished surface reflects almost the entire heat coming from the heating element to the front side of the heater. That is why effective heating is taking place. So here is heat radiated by the sun. That is why we are wearing these light color clothes during the summer. But during the winter, what we prefer? We prefer to wear the dark color clothes, so that maximum amount of heat is absorbed and we do not feel cold during the winter season. Then in the hot countries, outside walls of house are painted in white. Why? Because outer walls of house, because white color does not absorb any heat radiation from the sun, which keep inside cool even if there is a hot climate outside the house. So these walls are painted white because they are not good absorbers of heat. So inside surface of the house remains cool in comparison to the outside surface. Now at the last, let's see differences between the conduction, convection and radiation. So we all know that conduction always takes place in the solid medium, and it in this no actual movement of the particles takes place, so it requires a medium. Whereas in case of the convection, actual movement of the particles of the matter takes place, and again it requires a medium, that is fluid. But radiation does not require a medium. Radiant heat can travel at the speed of the light, and it can travel in any point of the space. So these are the few differences between the conduction, convection and radiation. Based upon these parameters like definition, the process by which heat is transferred from the hotter end of the object to the colder end of the object is known as conduction. The transfer of heat by the movement of particles of the medium from one place to another, that is known as convection. Whereas the transfer of heat that does not require a medium, that is known as radiation. If we consider the medium, conduction takes place in solids, convection takes place in liquids, and radiation takes place in any medium. Then since conduction and convection requires a medium, so they are not possible in vacuum, but radiation is possible in the vacuum, and it is maximum in the vacuum also. Speed of conduction is slow, speed of convection is faster than the conduction, and the radiation heat transfer is fastest among these three. Then direction of heat. Heat in case of the conduction, heat can flow in any direction. Whereas in case of convection, the heat is flowing in the vertically upward direction, and in case of the radiation, in all the directions, that is along a straight path, since it is traveling at a speed of light. So these are the few differences between conduction, convection and radiation. So that's the end of this chapter. Thank you.